Good day, viewers. Pwalpar here. I thought I'd get on here and do just a little bit of a vlog today. We're going to talk about the weather and the way it's going to change over the next week or so. I was looking here on Google at the upcoming weather report for Georgia for next week. Right now it says it's 47. My computer says it's 49. Saturday, 54 to 47 with a chance of rain. Sunday, 45 all the way down to 19 degrees. Monday, 31 degrees to 21 degrees. Tuesday, 35 degrees to 20 degrees. Don't want them water pipes freezing up. Better run your water a little slow so it don't freeze up. 46 to 32 on Thursday. Friday, 47 to 30. Down here, top stories. Georgia prepares for an upcoming winter storm. Extended outlook. Big Bend and South Georgia officials prepares for wintry weather next week. Atlanta Arctic blast, rainy weekend, ushers in extreme cold and snow threats. Boy, I just can't wait to get out there and freeze my little tootsies off trying to make me a snowman. Atlanta News, first alert forecast. Rain, then bitter cold, and a chance of snow. My advice to my viewers is stay in the house. Don't do nothing but sit on your tootsie. Prop your feet up, keep warm, watch Pwalpar on YouTube, and stay warm. I recall days back when I had to go to work at the railroad, and there was many a day when it was snowy and icy. We lived up in Marietta, Georgia at the time, in a mobile home park. I guess we lived there about 15 years before I transferred with the railroad and built my house down here in Griffin. But a couple stories I thought I'd share with you. I recall one day calling in. We lived kind of a hill on the street we lived on, and ice on the road was covered with ice, an inch or two deep out there. Tried to drive up the driveway and slid sideways all the way back down the hill. Pulled back in the house, called the railroad. That was getting on 6:30 in the morning. Had to be to work at 7. Old Jimmy Durham, old general foreman, answered the phone. I think he probably was the only one there, and the truth of the matter is he probably stayed all night. I said, Jimmy, this Parks marked me off. I can't make it today. What do you mean? I drove 32 miles to get to work today. I said, I can't even get up the driveway, Jimmy. So I expect I just better stay home and take care of my little self. But I'll get there as soon as I can. And that's just typical for Jimmy. I don't know why you can't drive. I drove 32 miles in there, but what old Jimmy was good for, his wife made some of the best cookies, and he brought them into the rip track every day, and we would always think of some excuse to go in the office and raid his cookie jar. He brought fresh cookies almost every day. When I did make it in on snowy, icy days, I had a 1964 Volkswagen, and that thing would go anywhere, and it was all beat up. I didn't give about $50 for it, and I didn't really care if I wrecked it or not. So I went places that you couldn't go in a regular car. That Volkswagen would scoot right up a hill. And I kept that old car until I got up in Chattanooga one day, and it throwed a rod, and I had brand new tires on it and just got through rebuilding the engine. I had to tow it back to the mountains where we lived at the time. Sold that car for less than what I had tied up in the tires that was on it. I'm sure whoever bought it fixed it up nice. But I kind of liked that old Volkswagen. I had it when we first got married. Tell you a little story. Contrary Mary was sitting over there on the passenger side. I had that car when we got married, drinking a big old chocolate milkshake. And I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it. And I popped the clutch real hard and made the front end of the Volkswagen jump up right about the time she had that milkshake up to her mouth. You know, Walter got in trouble for that. Anyway, I don't know what made me think of that story. I guess talking about the Volkswagen. Went down to the Department of Driver Services yesterday. Got my driver's license renewed. I'm going to turn 78 years old in the next month or two. And you can come in up to 150 days early. I don't know whether I want to show you this picture on my temporary driver's license or not. I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh, I'll hold it up to that camera over there. Now, don't Walter take a pretty picture? It made me look older than heels. Surely I don't look that old and bald. Anyway, my license will come in the mail within 30 days. They just give me a piece of paper. Tell me to look in this machine to read the top line. I done that. Looked at some little lights flashing over on the side, but I wanted to go ahead and get my driver's license renewed. I don't drive that much anymore, but when I do need to drive, I'm going to need a driver's license to do it. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that little bit of info with you. I don't want my viewers to get out and take a chance on driving in this snow. One more little snow ice storm story I think I'll share with you, if this vlog ain't getting too long. I told you we lived in a mobile home park. We lived in this trailer park. We had a ice storm one year. I guess it was, it might have been 72, 73, somewhere in there. And it was so much ice on the power lines that they got too heavy with the ice. And the power lines were falling and trees were falling on them. And the entire city of Marietta, Georgia was out of electricity. We went for 11 days with no electricity in a mobile home that you couldn't turn the heater on because you had to have electricity to run the furnace. So after about 3 or 4 days of freezing, I mean, you gotta think about your home when it got no electricity. You even had to put antifreeze in the toilet to keep them from freezing up. I forget how cold it was, but it was pretty doggone cold. We went 11 days with no electricity. So about, 3 or 4 days. I mean, we actually went out. We had a 73 Dodge Polaris station wagon. We went out and sat in the car to sleep and keep warm. After about a couple of days of that, I called my parents up in Blue Ridge, Georgia, which was up in the mountains. You got electricity up there? Yeah, we sure do. I said, we're coming to see y'all. And we stayed up there for about a week. When it finally thawed out and we could go back to work, we all went back to work. I don't envy anybody that ever gets in an ice storm like that. It was so cold in that trailer that we had to take the food out of the freezer and the refrigerator and put it on the kitchen table to keep it froze. That's how cold it was. We had a gas stove in the kitchen area and I hung a blanket over the doorway, and by burning the burners on the gas stove you could light them with a match. We were able to keep it up around the freezing mark in the kitchen in case we wanted to pick something to eat. It didn't take us long to say we've had enough of this, and we went north for the winter. Anyway, I was just doing this little winter vlog. What else did I want to mention to my viewers? I guess that's enough today. The vlog is going to be much too long. I'm sure many of my viewers have got stories about horror stories when it comes to talking about being in the snow and the freezing. But if we get snow next week, I'll try to get out there and video it for you. But don't expect me to be out there much longer than about 5 minutes. Y'all take care. This Pwalpar saying, when the storm gets here, keep your hiney's warm. We'll catch you later. It's Pwalpar saying take care.